Funny name. No offense to any Russians in the room.
Chev. So, those of you asking about Chev, Marty, go ahead, ask your question about it.
Okay, so his theorem.
Don't tell us the answer. If anybody's going to still submit it, don't tell us what the answer is to the first question. Ask me a more general question, like why do we care?
Okay, well, so what I'm curious about is in his theorem it states that the data must be within
Certain number standard deviation.
Okay, as long as that variable value is any value greater than 1.
Why? Was that one of the questions? Is why? Did I ask you?
Well, that's just what his theorem states. But
correct. And then I go down and make you calculate some that are less than 1 or equal to 1, don't I? Yes. And then I put a footnote on there saying you get ridiculous answers, don't you?
No.
Mathematically, if you actually calculate them for less than 1, you actually get ridiculous answers mathematically.
Right.
And that's the reason the theorem has a slight limitation for that greater than 1. It's interesting you saw that because I've seen other statements of it where they don't state that bigger than 1 limitation, but it's mentioned somewhere in, you can't put in values less than 1 or even equal to, well, you can put in equal to 1. It's just extraordinarily useless if you put in 1. I think I made you do that on the quiz, right?
Yeah.
Within 1 standard deviation? Yes, within 1 standard deviation. And you get this wonderful number and you're like, thanks, Chevy Chev. What do you lost the Cold War? Yeah, Joe.
I found a calculator online. I don't know if it's.
Chevy Chev calculator?
Yeah.
And Joe, I want you to say that nice and loud again.
I found a calculator for the standard K variable.
So plug in K.
But it didn't work for the 2/3 one, I think.
Because it's probably set up like Marnie said. It won't do values of the standard deviation that generate fictitious percentages. But it does work for, say, 1, 2, and 3.
It worked for 0.5.
Oh, it worked for 0.5.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Can you convert the fraction into a decimal and just roll?
Well, you'll see if you do use 0.5 on the formula. I keep saying this formula. If you choose to do Chevy Chev, you'll see what it is. It's beautiful. I think it's beautiful anyway. You'll get a result that doesn't make any sense. Like for the bell curve, you could go out a half standard deviation and whatnot. But if you go out a half a standard deviation using that formula, you get nonsense as far as the result goes. It's interesting it would do that for you though. Huh.
I put in.
Let's take a look at break if you don't mind, Joe. And the reason I had Joe state that, I apologize for my voice. I had a lot of water yesterday. A lot of chlorinated trachea. The reason I had Joe say that is almost anything we do in here has hundreds, if not thousands, of links online that you can find. So if you want to use the TI, which we do in class only because we're all sitting here with one computer that we all can't share, if you want to use the computer as a resource to do Chevy Chev or to do weighted means or to do whatever, they exist. And they might be different for everybody. So the fact that Joe tracked that one down is fantastic. That's what I'm trying to train you guys to do. As you may have noticed, some of you have had to go into Google and look for answers on certain things because the questions I ask are fairly atypical, which I understand can be annoying if you're used to typical. Then don't worry, I'll keep smacking you over the head with atypical until you get comfortable. Just okay, I'm out of my comfort zone, but I can get a solution because they exist. So Joe, that's a great example of one. I went and found a Chevy Chev calculator. Perfect. Or you could just use the formula once you find the formula, which also works.
But okay, but if his theorem states that it's only for values greater than 1.
Sometimes it states that. Sometimes it doesn't state that. That's what I'm saying. Like I've seen it stated where that isn't in there.
Okay.
So, but mathematically, you can put a number into a formula and get a result out. And that's what I want you to put in the result. And if this a footnote says these won't make sense.
You didn't put a footnote like that.
You said pretty useful, huh?
Pretty useful, huh? Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you get results that don't mean a whole lot. And without giving us the answer, you see what the footnote refers to in that first one, yes? When you plug 1 into the formula, without giving us the answer.
No.
Okay. Ask me a break, Marty. That way we can talk about the actual answers without giving them away. But we'll chit-chat.
Okay.
Okay? Cool? Right, go ahead.
I have a question. Like when it says that 89% of the data will be within 3 standard deviations.
It's okay, though. I'll just lie. Yes?
I was just throwing a percentage.
You were.
out there.
Just happened to be the right one, but that's okay.
If we have raw data, how do we know that that's correct?
It has to be correct because this is a theorem. This is mathematically provable. It's saying you can't have any less than that within 3. Notice that the bell curve percentages are always larger than Chevy Chev's percentages. Always. And that's because when you have certain shaped data, you get more than that. But Chebyshev gives you a base layer to work off of. It says you can't be any less than this. The trick is trying to create data sets that are so highly skewed to get anywhere close to his numbers, which I've tried in the past and I've given up on because it's not worth your effort, honestly. But mathematically, it's been proven that it can't go any less than that. And that's why it's important. That's why I thought that was where the question was going, why do we care about this? Because if you don't have bell-shaped data, here's a tool that you can use. I'm not saying you're going to have to. You might never have to. But I figured it's a perfect thing for a quiz. Go explore what happens if you don't have bell-shaped data, and can you still talk about standard deviations? The answer is da, because of Chebyshev. That was yes in Russian, in case you weren't paying attention.
Are you getting ready for Sochi already?
Am I getting ready for what?
Sochi?
So,
Practicing your
no,
round.
USSR, the party's over since 1989. Everybody over the age of 40 in the room laughs, that's awesome. Excellent. Cool? Yes? Good? So that's just quiz, and if you don't like the quiz, just don't turn it in, please. Don't turn it in. I mean, that's the whole point of giving optional quizzes. I have another variation quiz I haven't posted. I was supposed to do it yesterday, I ran out of time, for next week on variation as well. It's more typical, it deals with bell-shaped data. So that, which is what we're probably most going to be dealing with in your explorations of data as you go through college, most likely. And you'll see why by the end of this class. You'll see why that is. Cool? All right, is that one I did push back till Thursday, yes? So if you want to turn that on Thursday, by all means. Did I push, that's the only one, yeah?
Yes.
I think for this week, yeah. So you'll have another variation quiz for next week, and I'll probably have another quiz up with that one as well for next week. I know there's a project due next week, and I understand that, but at the same time, I like to just give you as many quizzes as possible. That way, as you guys are collecting your quizzes, you have to do a minimum of 10. As you're collecting them, you can vote not to do one, and I don't like this one. I don't like Chebyshev. I'm going to do this one instead. Good. Then pick and choose. I mean, the only way you can do that is that I give you more than 10. So you can pick between the ones you don't want to do and the ones you do want to do. And plus the ones in class count towards that number too. So those ones you guys just got, that count towards that 10. And I've got one planned for today. We'll see if we get to it. I don't want to rush to get to it. If we don't get to it today, we'll get to it on Thursday. What else? How's the exam going? If you've got a chance to look at it. If you got a chance to look at it, got into the Excel, thank you for catching the AJ. I apologize. I don't know how I typed that wrong, but I gave a wrong cell. I sent you guys an email about it. I gave you a wrong cell reference on Excel. I apologize. Too many damn letters floating around. I fixed it and re-uploaded it, so that should be fine. I also found an error in the moving average command, but it doesn't affect the numbers at all, so I just left it alone. That way I don't screw with anybody. So Excel sheet's open. Marty, go ahead, yeah.
Okay, so you had mentioned that that needed to be corrected, but it doesn't matter like where you plug that.
It really doesn't. No, that's why it's not that big of a deal. But if somebody's literally going through and trying to find that cell, they're going to erase data by putting it in whatever it was, J, whatever I told you to do it. You're actually going to erase data doing that, which isn't the biggest deal. You're right. It doesn't matter where you put it. But depending on your comfort level with Excel, you might not realize that. You might be like, oh my God, I can't. So that's why I wanted to fix it to make sure. The other error, did anybody catch the other error that I goofed on the moving averages page?
Yeah, the last cell didn't include the last.
DR or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's okay, because you have to, if you will, go past it to include it. But I had you, when you drag it to the left, it actually drags a text cell first, not a number cell. But I said to hell with it, it doesn't matter. It's one cell out of whatever, 50 or 100. It's not going to make that much of a difference. So I just let that one go. I'll fix that one after you guys turn the exam in. Vivica, please.
So when we turn in the exam, do you want us to print out what we've done on it?
I don't think so. I think all I ask you to do is to report back the values, which you can do on scrap paper if you want to. Yeah, I don't want you printing. Printing Excel spreadsheets is notoriously a pain in the butt because you have to format the page to fit right, and it's not worth it. It's not. I don't think it's worth it. So just give me the values. I trust you're using Excel to get the values. That's kind of the point. Is you're in there getting those values with the software. Cool. Fair. Good. So the spreadsheet's opening. I've had some tech issues with 105 in Excel. I want to make sure that we're not getting those issues with you guys. Everything's opening okay. It sounds like they're opening okay. Maybe some typos, which we're going to fix.
I was just a little confused because where it says in cell and then it said J12 through J16 and then down in number D, it references to.
I fixed that too.
Okay.
Yeah, I fixed that too.
Okay.
Yeah, I went from, I was typing it correctly up until that chart. AJ, and then I switched to J for some reason.
I just needed to add it into the formula if you wanted us to do that.
As Marty said, it doesn't matter where you put them. I mean, it's your choice. I just happen to make those pretty in orange and yellow, bold and large. So that was referring to those. So cool.
Yeah.
All right. Email if you get stuck with anything. Email. You can email spreadsheets to me. Obviously, you just send them as attachments. If anything gets stuck, you can't make something work. Sometimes it's as easy as a misspelling. Excel's pretty picky about the way you spell things. It's picky about putting the equal sign in front of the commands. It will not. If you don't put an equal sign, it doesn't know you're dealing with the formula.
Parentheses around numbers.
The parentheses around numbers is sometimes important. With functions, it's crucial. Yes, with functions, it's crucial. Excel makes you type like you do on your TI, which means if you want to divide 1 plus x divided by 2, 1 plus x over 2, you've got to put the 1 plus x in parentheses. It literal order of operations, single line display, which is a bit archaic, but I kind of like it too, because it's a throwback to making sure you understand order of operations. I mean, it's a good thing. I don't think that's a huge deal in this exam. I think for the most part, you're just grabbing sets of data, you're just grabbing a bunch of lines of data and then having it analyzed. So I'm looking forward to see what you guys say when I ask how many legs my chickens lay. It's gonna be fun. It's kind of a chicken-centric exam. I didn't realize that until after I put it all together. The National Geographic went with chickens, and I get my chickens with the chickens, and then total fit at the end. So, cool? Good? All right. Any other general questions? These were fantastic, Marty. I definitely want to talk to you at the break about the chip chat. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Not bad. Yes. Wish I knew more Russian.